It's a heavyweight newspaper at a lightweight price. Now you can get 13 weeks of the Trib every day for just $9.99. So get a better read on Pittsburgh at a better price. The Trib, just $9.99. Dog not included.
It's the gift of a grandchild's laugh. It's the gift of a sister's advice. It's the holiday gift they'll really love. Time together. Thanks to Verizon Wireless.
Now get 3,500 total monthly minutes for just $35 monthly access on select digital plans, so you can call anyone, anywhere in the U.S. and talk all you want with nationwide long distance included. And get a free Motorola phone with activation after mail-in rebate.
So give your loved ones the gift they really want. You. Verizon Wireless. Join in.
What can I get you guys?
I'll have a Spanish omelet and some hash browns.
I'll come back.
NFL This Morning. It's the pregame show that's not really a pregame show. Tomorrow at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
The WPIAL Football Championships on Fox Sports Net are brought to you by the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Get a better read on sports. Kevin Gorman knows something about that. Let's head to
Falls, Washington. 15-0 under Guy Monacello, 234-1 in history when scoring 30 points or more. But they've lost 2 times in the championship game by 1 point, so this is a dubious thing for them to be down by 1 at halftime.
And let's take you through the first half highlights and show you what happened. Washington, a nice opening drive, but they did themselves in, or you can credit the Tigers as well.
Yeah, Justin Gregola throws the pass looking for Brian Skaggs. Patrick Nestor picks it off, has a nice return, sets up Beaver Falls. Here's you see Justin Shiro. He gets picked off by Darnell Barnes. Nice catch there by Barnes. And Shiro scrambles. He looks like he's going to break some tackles. Nope, he loses the ball. Here comes Dale Calloway flying in. Fumble recovery. Washington has the ball. There comes a big play for Tyrone Gooseby. You see Shiro dumps it back to Gooseby. Gooseby goes left, fakes, misses 1. 2 misses. 3. He bumps his own tailback. Dane Williams says, get out of my way. I'm headed to the end zone. Here he comes in, pumping his fist. And Beaver Falls goes on, takes a 7-0 lead. Washington strikes back. J.R. Ward. Little misdirection, right up the middle. I think 40-yard plus. Big touchdown run. It looks like they're about to tie it up. The little Prexies line up for the extra point. The snap is bobbled. Justin Gregola off the post.
And so it is 7-6, that 1 extra point, the difference in the game. And you look at things statistically, very even, right down to the turnovers. You go through the rushing yards. You expect Washington to be able to run the ball. Dane Williams hasn't really gotten on track, although he started pretty quickly, and Beaver Falls has been able to throw the ball better.
I think the big difference is the time possession. You look 14-50 to 9-10. They have the big advantage there that be able to keep Washington on the field. They're tiring them out a little bit, and they haven't allowed them to make the big go-to play, touchdown runs. They've been able to keep them in check for the most part.
Yeah, each team's been able to move the ball pretty well, but each team has only scored once on big plays. Gooseby with a 44-yard touchdown reception on that beautiful run, and J.R. Ward going untouched for 42 yards for the other score. So you have to credit the defenses for playing pretty well and being opportunistic as well.
And you saw the big plays, the interception down to the 1-yard line, another interception inside the 20. Those are the kind of plays you need to make in the championship games to keep the team out of the end zone.
Well, we expected the big plays to be coming offensively from each team. They instead have come defensively, as Washington has twice been inside the 10-yard line, turned it over and not, or actually missed a field goal attempt at one time, turned it over the other time. Beaver Falls with a couple turnovers. So the high-powered big points that we expected in this game hadn't materialized yet.
No, this one's turning into a defensive standoff, which is not what we expected, but now maybe in the second half you might see a different story.
So evidently, I'm sorry, is it Bill Fontana? Bill Fontana is downfield side ready to join us. Bill?
Coach Montecalvo, you told me earlier in the week, big football game, you want to put that picket fence around Dane Williams to stop him. Has it worked so far?
Well, I think it has, Bill. We've done a reasonably good job against him. I think he has 40-some yards in the first half. They had a couple pretty successful tosses out of Twins, Cockeye, and we didn't get good enough inside-out and corner support on those. But then we took care of that as the half went on.
Guy, you're such a class individual and one of the best coaches in the WPIAL. What did you tell your kids at halftime? What things haven't you done well, and what do you need to do to control this game?
We haven't finished, Bill. It's very simple. We've created some situations to score, and then we haven't taken advantage of the opportunities. We got a little bit impatient on a couple things, didn't throw the ball away when we should have. We missed a block on Travis's run by the defensive back that would have sprung him. We've done some good things with the offense on that side of the football against a good Beaver Falls team. But, you know, we had 3 drives, Bill, that should have been scores, and you get inside the 10-yard line, you've got to convert. And, you know, we miss a field goal, we miss an extra point. I don't know if we can play any more awful than we did in the first half, but, you know, hopefully we got guys with character and they're ready to play this half.
And the last question, Guy, what can the viewers look for Wash High to do here in the second half?
Well, we've got a few things in the passing game that we haven't done yet, Bill. Justin's got to get his confidence back, and he's the kind of guy that does want the ball when the game's on the line. There's some awfully good things we feel we can do in the running game as well. But I think we're going to pretty much stay true to course and do some of the things we've done in the first half. We've got a few things that we would like to try, but we've got to continue to play great defense.
Guy Montecalvo, good luck to you.
Thank you, Bill.
Head coach of the Washington Prexies. Let's go back upstairs and rejoin Rob King and Kevin Gorman.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Here's what has happened so far. Rochester, Gene Matzik, 2 consecutive years, his first 2 years as coach of the Rochester Rams, winning another title. They beat Fort Cherry. Final score was 27-19. Excellent ball game. And right now, Beaver Falls leading Washington 7-6 at the half. We were expecting a shootout. The defenses have been dominant. Maybe we will get that shootout in the second half. Here's what's coming up. Hopewell against West Allegheny. Tyler Palco and company looking to make it 3 consecutive WPIAL Class AAA championships. And in the Quad A game, Central Catholic and Woodland Hills, they played earlier this season. It went into 3 overtimes. Woodland Hills won that game. Central Catholic will now try for a win in the rematch. There's Hopewell. Team heading to the locker room at halftime here, getting ready to play West Allegheny. Tyler Palco and company. That should be an excellent ball game as well. You look at Keith Humphreys, and I'll tell you what, he told us earlier this week that he felt like his team could play with Washington. I think a lot of folks expected this game to be a blowout, Kevin, quite frankly, and so far it has not happened.
No, I think Beaver Falls has possibly an edge in the confidence factor. You know, these guys got nothing to lose. They've never been here before. They have no ghosts in their past. They have nothing to be worried about. They come in, it's win or lose, and we're here prepared to win. And I think they, like they said, they have the talent. It's just a matter of going out and doing really well. One of the big keys Beaver Falls hasn't done is they haven't committed too many penalties. Like you talk about correcting the correctable mistakes. This is a team that's averaged 10 penalties a game, about 100 yards in penalties per game, and they've only had 1 so far, and it didn't really hurt them too bad because I think that was on the missed field goal attempt where they had a penalty inside the 10-yard line, and then Gregola missed the field goal off the crossbar. So he shanked it wide right, I believe.
And they also had some breakdowns in secondaries that Coach Humphreys against North Catholic called correctable mistakes, and so far that secondary's done a pretty good job. The one long gain to Travis Thomas and the pass underneath when Regula just bought himself a little extra time by hanging in the pocket. But again, this is the fewest points that we've seen out of Washington, and the fewest points in a game this season, 27 versus Southside Beaver. They haven't been held to 7 points in the first half either this year. The kickoff as Beaver Falls is set to receive. And the kick going deep will be handled at the goal line. And battling for extra yards and bringing it out over the 20-yard line was Rory Berry on the return. And that's where Beaver Falls is going to take over at the 24-yard line. To reset the offense for you a little bit, Shiro, a very fine quarterback for Keith Humphreys. Dane Williams, a 4,000-yard career rusher, moved into 21st in the all-time WPIAL list earlier this game. And it is Williams with Karchevsky in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the right side. Got a Slappy in motion. Pitch to Williams, trying the right side. Strung out a little bit, tries to cut back, but then Borkowski is there to bring him down. Oh, he might have picked up a foot or 2. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Like you see here, Dane Williams doesn't have that breakaway ability to get outside and turn the corner before anybody else can get there. He's more of a guy who gets out there and finds a cutback angle, and he hasn't had those on the sweeps today, and it seems like that's been the big key that Washington's been able to do, is cut off the corners and also cut off the cutback angles and don't allow him to turn on the inside lanes.
You can see 14 carries, just 53 yards. By the way, Nick Pisano went out early in the game. We have not seen him back. Williams on the left side, met a couple of yards downfield and then gang tackled and brought down.
Last week, Williams at halftime had, I believe he had 14 carries for 94 yards. So you see the drop in productivity, but you also see how good Washington's defense is, and that's a difference of 41 yards on the same amount of carries.
As Washington defense, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, given up only 25 points the first unit all season long. But the first unit has not been out there all that often because they've been winning by such big margins.
And they still haven't given up a rushing touchdown.
Now Shiro, 3rd and 7 situation, has Williams going in motion. Shiro back to pass, looking for Gooseby on a little screen underneath for Borkowski. Read it, now the ball loose, but they're going to say incomplete. So Borkowski doing a nice job as they tried to slide Gooseby from his left tight end position over to a screen on the right side. And instead, with the incompletion, Beaver Falls will now have to kick it away.
He also had Karczewski out on the right flat, and he chose to go inside to Gooseby. Karczewski would have been a one-on-one situation on the outside.
Punt is away barely.
Looks like he might have got a fingertip on it.
They've got a great Beaver Falls roll, though. As Leo Clements, the punter, maybe a little fortunate there, but wound up with a kick of 32 yards or thereabouts, and Washington will take over excellent field position in their first possession of the second half. So only 1:50 of game clock is expired. Beaver Falls have done an excellent job in the first half of going on long, sustained drives and keeping the Prexies offense off the field.
You talked about that Washington game when the season opener against Southside Beaver. They won 27-6. It was 14-0 at halftime. Travis Thomas broke a 47-yarder in the third quarter, and that's what broke the game open a little bit. Let's see if they can try to get the ball to maybe Thomas or J.R. Ward and somebody get a big gain and try to break this game open again.
Well, they tried Thomas on the crossbuck inside and lost a little over a yard. Call it 2nd and 11. Gula trots back out into the huddle. He called the play. Doesn't mess around when they get in that huddle. Bang, he calls the play, and out they go. He's got Skaggs split high to the right. Valley on the near side. You see Gregula just 2 for 6, 68 yards, the one long one to Thomas plus the interception. Now Cherry in motion, fakes to him. Gregula back to pass, looking long over the middle, and it is deflected and nearly caught by Skaggs after it had almost been picked off by Gooseby. Excellent coverage downfield.
Gooseby, one of the things I talked to him this past week, and he said, I've got the recovery. If somebody beats me, if they even beat me to the inside, beat me to the outside, I got the chance to come back and make the play. And that's why he was about a step away from having an interception there.
Well, we've seen Gregula, who is normally very active, be off the mark once or twice. But frankly, his receivers have not gotten a lot of separation from what had been a suspect Beaver Falls Tigers secondary. Talented, but suspect.
Well, I think they've been going after the best defensive back in Gooseby. I think they maybe try to pick on somebody like Slappy or Waldron.
Gregula, short roll to the left, and he gets Skaggs over the middle. On target this time. Picks up 15 yards and a first down for the Little Prexies. Big play by Gregula.
You see, you heard Guy Monachelvo talk earlier about how he wants to build Justin's confidence back up. This is the kind of play that does it. Get a completion over the middle. He doesn't have to worry about turning into coverage. Get a big gain, get the chains moving, and all of a sudden, Justin Gregula is going to start finding a rhythm.
Well, we haven't seen Vonnie Johnson since the fumble. Cherry back in there, and he's the one in motion. Pitch to him. Going over the right side. Gets a good block, cuts straight up the field, and picks up about 8. Oh, Ward did an excellent job on the nice kick-out block on Rory Thomas as Doug Buford comes up and makes the tackle for the Tigers. Oh, they're laying some leather out there. Some big hits on that block by the little blocks by the Little Prexies. Bring up a 2nd and 2 situation. Valley split near side. Skaggs up on the high side. Cherry again in motion. And he'll get the toss once again. Pick out block again from Ward. And Cherry will pick up about 4.
Looks like he got the first down.
Plenty for a first down. inside the 35-yard line. Hey, Gagula logged some miles in the game, doesn't he? Running back over to Montecalvo to get the signal. And trotting back onto the field again. That'll keep you in shape. Good shape for baseball, huh?
Yeah, sure. As many guys as they have, you don't really see them sending in receivers in and out. They seem to go with the same backs for a series here during this game. They don't really move them in and out too much.
You see Skaggs changing side on the formation. Now Thomas going in motion. They try Ward on the quick hitter up the middle. Rumbles forward for about 3 before he's finally dragged down. That sort of innocuous-looking quick hitter, Patrick Nestor, one of those into the top, is the play that Ward went untouched for 42 yards. So they're just keeping him honest and making sure that Beaver Falls doesn't know who's going to have the ball. And that's part of the scheme that Montecalvo has worked on so hard.
And Dan Moses told me before this game, he said, this is really going to come down to the lines. And it looks like, Washington, if they can get some long drives going, maybe they can wear out these Beaver Falls defensive linemen and just move the ball down them for a while.
2 tight ends split, cross buck inside, and that play was blown up in the hole as Thomas didn't have much room to run. Doug Buford in there. Also Blair Cockfield doing a nice job of getting in there and stuffing the hole, big number 75. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and a long 5 anyway. There's not a lot of room to run inside there. And 3rd and, we'll call it a long 5. Gagula breaks the team out of the huddle, has Valley split up on the top of your screen. Skaggs on the bottom of the screen. Thomas in motion, quick pass out, caught by Skaggs, and it looks like that's going to be enough for a first down, depends upon the spot, and it should be. Waiting for the official signal, and there it is. First down, Little Prexies.
That's the kind of ball moving you want to see. Washington gets just enough for the yardage. Skaggs goes down on his knees, and he's automatically down. But he got enough yardage, and they put themselves in a good situation right here where they're moving the ball. Beaver Falls have been on the field for a little while, and now they have to try to stop Washington.
Now, Washington's been here before. Turnovers have hurt him. Now the pitch to Thomas. Brought down by Nestor. Patrick Nestor doing a nice job getting some penetration and bringing down Thomas for a loss on the play.
You hear so much about the defensive line and the defensive backs. With Nestor and Karcheski, these 2 kids are some tough linebackers in there. They make some big plays, and you see Nestor just leveled them on that one.
And Buford doing a nice job also getting in there and forcing Thomas maybe to cut it up sooner than he wanted to. And Buford's had a strong game defensively as well. So 2nd and 11. Gyro back to pass. Little pressure. Now a lot of pressure. And down he goes. Nestor was in there. Got some help also defensively from Leo Clements. Had him crept in there.
It looks like they brought Clements in on the end. And I can't tell if it's either Tench or Krepp that they've moved inside. But with Pisano out, they've had to make up on the defensive line a little bit, shift some people around. But they have so much depth with all these different guys. Clements, he's played in for them all year, so, they're doing pretty well up the middle despite losing their defensive tackle.
Clements also doubles as a wide receiver sometimes, too. So now, 3rd and 12. Cherry in motion. Gagula back. And now a Statue of Liberty to J.R. Ward. Ward looking for some room. Oh, big hit. And finally brought down as Spencer Waldron came up and gave him a shot.
Waldron stood him up and turned him over on that one.
But still, you're in 4-down territory here. I don't think there's any question about that. So Ward being able to pick up 8 there will make it a 4th and 3.
Waldron's slow getting up over there. It looks like I can't tell if, I'm not sure if he's injured or if it's just a cramp.
Oh, that was a big, big collision. Hard to say if one of his own men hit him or what the case is, and it looks like they're looking at his knee. That's never a good sign. I think you're right, though. Actually, it might be a cramp in his calf. If they're pushing down that hard on his knee, it's not his knee, I wouldn't think. Yeah, they're feeling the calf muscle, and it's the cramp in the calf, I would suspect.
It seems the one giveaway when these guys get a cramp, they usually grab their face mask, and I don't know, everything tightens up and they're just grabbing on, holding on to something, but I can't, it looks like that's what it might have been, was a cramp.
When you get older like us, you don't move fast enough to get cramps anymore. I haven't had a cramp in 20 years. There's Dane Williams now, the fine running back, to come in defensively for Waldron on this 4th and 3 situation. No question, Guy Montecalvo is going to go for it here. The crowd beginning to roar here at Heinz Stadium. Split receivers, Valley to the top, Skaggs at the bottom of your screen. Thomas in motion, Gagulo, short step, didn't like what he saw, now gets rid of it, downfield, caught, touchdown! Skaggs corrals it, as Gagulo bought himself a little extra time. Skaggs beat Slappy to the corner, and Gagulo on target with that pass on a 4th and 3, and the Little Prexies score, and now presumably they will go for 2.
You see, that's a big-time play. He hangs in there. He's going to take the hit from Patrick Nestor. It was a hitch and go. Skaggs, so you see him turn him, turns back, hits the ball just inside.
Beautifully thrown ball. And Gregula bought himself a little time by moving left in the pocket away from Nestor. Just enough time as Nestor was bearing down on him. Now Cherry in motion. Play action pass. Wide open is Thomas with a 2-point conversion. And Washington has taken the 14-7 lead on a 12-play, 60-yard drive that took up 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Little Prexies fans on their feet cheering at Heinz Field. Beaver Falls gets the ball next. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back, and here's the big play. Gregula, pump fake. You see him just roll a little bit left, and that bought him the time, didn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? Gregula's a tough kid. He just hangs in there. He's willing to take the hit to make the big play, and that's what really separates these quarterbacks from, you know, from the good ones, from the great ones, and at the high school level. And he's really had an exceptional year. I think that's what his 18th touchdown pass of the season.
Has the school record, set it earlier this season. The record had been 37, had been 36, got to 37, now is 39 on the season. Kickoff is a short one, taken by Grigsby. Looking for some room. Takes off one tackle, heads up to the sideline, and it's finally driven out of bounds. Travis Thomas with some help. And so Beaver Falls will take over at their, well, just inside their 30-yard line.
I think you're going to see Beaver Falls turn to Justin Shiro, see him throw the ball a little bit. The running game wasn't as effective last drive. Shiro has a little bone to pick with Washington and Guy Montecalvo. His dad, Ron Shiro, coached Riverside back in the early 90s. Riverside lost in the AA championship game 3 consecutive years, 91 to 93. 93, the last of those losses, was to Washington, a 12-7 loss, and that's the only championship that Montecalvo has won, and Shiro is the ball boy on those teams, so he has a bone to pick, and he has a little revenge factor on his mind today.
Now Shiro making sure he's got Slappy in the right formation. Slappy now goes in motion, pitch out to Williams, right side, looking for some room to cut back. Wiggles his way forward for 5+ yards on first down. Boy, it didn't look like much of a hole there, but Williams able to slither his way forward and pick up some positive yardage.
Well, that's what makes him such a good back, is that he doesn't stop running. You know, he's going to find a way to get the yardage. He's going to, you know, make the cutback. He's going to bounce around a little bit. He's going to slide through the hole sideways if he has to, backwards, whatever way it takes him to get through the yardage. And that's, you know, he's one of those kind of backs that doesn't give up. He just keeps his feet moving.
2nd and 4, 2 receivers split, top of the screen. Head into the right side is Kent. Williams with Karchevsky. Quick pass out into the flat to Slappy. Washington coming up, can't make the ankle tackle this time, and Slappy's out near midfield for that reception. By the way, you're going to see this fellow's cousin, Joe Slappy, playing for West Allegheny a little bit later today.
And Joe Slappy's a fine receiver himself, one of the best in Class AAA. I think he's probably taught Rodney a few things. Rodney's also the backup quarterback for the Beaver Falls Tigers, so if anything would happen to Shiro, he might move behind center. But, you know, that's a nice 1-2 punch. It's a shame they're not on the same team, Slappy and Slappy.
Tight end left side. Krzyzewski set that way with Williams in the backfield. Slappy in motion. Now two receivers to the right. Toss to the short side of the field. Williams picks up a couple and runs out of bounds. Pick up a 2nd and 8. Well, he tried to negate the other team's speed a little bit by going to that short side of the field, but Williams just ran out of room there. And there you see the injury earlier to Mike Pisano, and clearly he is done for the day. His shoulder pads are off, got the arm in a sling. And I'm just guessing here, that that's a separated shoulder, but we don't have any confirmation of that.
That's a tough loss for Beaver Falls, too. He's a good two-way player for the Tigers.
Now, Pisano is their best defensive player. So, yeah, that hurts. Pass to Slappy, too high, couldn't bring it down. In fact, you're talking to both coaches earlier this week. Humphrey said so, and Montecalvo also singled out Pisano for praise. Humphrey said nobody's been able to block him this year. Unfortunately for him, losing him early in this ball game. And you wonder if he had been in there on that 42-yard touchdown run, what might have happened. Yeah. But injury is part of the game. Washington has been nicked up a couple times in this championship game over the years under Montecalvo. So now a 3rd and 8 situation. Gyro receivers split to either side. Back to pass. Lost one down the field. And is it caught? It is. Gooseby. A nice catch. There was good coverage by Thomas downfield, but Gooseby able to beat him to the throw. Lofted by Shiro.
And Shiro throws a really nice sideline pass. Puts her nice and high for Gooseby this well. Oh, Gooseby, boy, makes a great catch. Drags his feet in there. That was in tight coverage, too.
Yeah, excellent coverage. Good throw. And it looked as if perhaps it was even deflected by Thomas.
It looks like number 64, Adam Krepp, has moved into left guard to take Pisano's place. And they keep going to the left side, so he's been effective.
Shiro, I don't know whether that was called or whether he just saw up the middle. Looked like a called quarterback sneak on 1st and 10. And he's going to pick up 6 yards. You mentioned that against North Catholic, that he was able to do something like this. Again, Washington never saw it coming.
Yeah, and he followed Mickey Cooper. Mickey Cooper laid a nice block right up front, followed him right off to his left side, had plenty of room to run there.
Cooper, the #1 student in his class at Beaver Falls. A lot of Ivy League teams interested in him. Big kid, 6'4", about 270. Their center. Shiro hands to Williams. Tries the right side now, cuts back. And picks up more than enough for a first down, gain of about 7. And Beaver Falls continuing to move the chains, answering as Travis Thomas in there on the stop once again.
That's what you see Dane Williams. He just, he gets a short little hole there. All of a sudden somebody grabs his jersey, but he's going to keep those legs moving. You see him just fighting for yardage.
Now that quarterback sneak that caught the Little Prexies napping may have taken away a little bit of their jump. The idea there is to put him to the offensive line and don't let him continue to penetrate. Krzyzewski, little wiggle motion, now comes back to the right side. Sort of that counter tray that the Redskins used to run so effectively behind the Hogs, and Williams picks up only a yard here. Con Giles, and then the stop for Washington.
This is where you're going to see the Prexies defense toughen up. They take a lot of pride that they haven't given up a running touchdown. And, now that they have the lead, they don't want Beaver Falls coming right back in this game. So this is a matter of, this is a big play, a big series in this game for them. And they're really going to have to stop them. You see how many guys are loading up on the front there.
So that's split up to the top, Slappy on the bottom of your screen. Williams gets the ball straight up the middle and dragged down by Big Dan Moses. Moses is a big guy.
Beaver Falls is sending Gooseby in on this play. It looks like he's coming in for, Bernard Tench. No, it's Krzyzewski.
We mentioned Moses being a Division I recruit. Montecalvo said he has about 12 to 15 guys that he thinks can play collegiately. Now, we're not talking about on the Division I level, but I tell you what, you put out 12 or 15 guys on a field who can play Division I, II, 1A, Division III football. You got yourself a pretty good football team.
Yeah, I don't think they want to line up against the W&J presidents but, you know, they've got a solid team if they go and play at a little bit higher level. I think they've got some kids that can compete at that level.
Well, Shiro tried to call timeout, but instead a delay of game penalty called before that, so what had, you guessed, been a passing situation, although this might be 4-down territory, has certainly become a passing situation now on 3rd and 12. Looks like some trouble in getting that formation set.
Yeah, they had Gooseby and Clements on the end, so you might see one of those guys break out. There's Gooseby wide open.
Shiro looking, steps up in the pocket. Now the pressure coming, and he goes down and flipped the ball at the last moment. Now, it looked like it was intercepted, but I believe they were going to say he was down.
I think that was Dan Moses who blew up that hole in the middle there and grabbed Shiro.
And Giles might have been in there as well. Oh, they're going to call that an incomplete pass. Let's take another look at this, huh? Ooh. Well, one, he was down, and two, if he wasn't down, it was intentional grounding. It was caught by one of his offensive linemen, but neither call made, and so they'll get another crack at it.
You're right, that was Tommy Giles who went in there. He put a lot of pressure on him. You know, Shiro might have panicked. He might have been thinking he was being clever on that one. Either way, he got away with it.
Yeah, and Humphreys is going to want a timeout to talk this thing over with 6 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. And a big call to be made here. And we have some of the Washington coaches next to us saying, hey, how come that wasn't intentional grounding?
Yeah, they have a good point.
Coming up tonight, it's Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. It's 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout Pittsburgh. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch Pittsburgh Sports Tonight at 10 only on Fox Sports Net. Championship Saturday recap of the action you're seeing here, the backyard brawl, Penn State highlights, the Pens and Sabres playing as well. Ooh, an awful game for the Penguins last night, trying to break out of the schneid there. They've lost their last couple, did not look good Wednesday night either. It's too bad I had my mother-in-law in town. You know, it takes them to an exciting hockey game. They enjoyed it, though. They had a good time.
Yeah.
Not much of a game, though.
Well, I got to see them play, I guess it was against the Islanders a couple of days back, and Kovalev had the hat trick, and boy, when he gets on fire, he's something else.
They've been outscored 9-1 over the last 2 games. Well, just a reminder, folks, if you're watching here, you can expect the best coverage from Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. A half an hour of local sports coming your way every night at 10 o'clock or following your Penguins game. Well, Shiro, yeah, 3 receivers to the right. Has the tight end Gooseby on the left side. Williams the lone setback. Little Prexies look like they might rush 5, and they do. They're going to rush 4. Shiro back, looking, flirts one, bobbled around, and falls incomplete. Almost a miniature Hail Mary there, the way that thing was wobbling out there. Well, Dale Calloway, the sophomore, in there. Tom Sepula, we talked about the injuries he's had to come back from. He was in on that play as well. So the Little Prexies get the ball back as we get ready for the 4th quarter. They lead 14-7. We'll be back from Heinz Field right after this.
Get that side.
Smile. All right, the Little Prexies taking over on downs as we get ready to begin the 4th quarter. In motion and getting the toss. That is Brian Cherry, I believe, on that carry. And it's Gooseby in on the stop. Well, Cherry's gotten a lot of time. I don't know whether Ronnie Johnson is injured. We have not seen him since his fumble.
He looks like he's standing about 5 feet behind Monticello down there on the sidelines. I don't know if he's in the doghouse. He didn't start the final game of the season, and then against South Park he had a breakout game, but, you know.
The flag down the play clock may have expired. We'll wait for the call. On a 2nd and 4. Now it's going to be offsides, apparently, on Beaver Falls. Well, this is just what I think Keith Humphreys did not want. Washington getting a little momentum thanks to the defensive stop. They've taken the lead. The offense is beginning to show signs that it's ready to roll.
Yeah. And then this is Beaver Falls can't afford to give up little penalties like this, 5 and 10 yards, when you're allowing them to drive down the field on you without even having to make the plays.
Thomas in motion. Pitch out to Thomas. Cuts off left tackle and picks up about 4 yards.
Thomas has a little hitch in his step when he gets ready to go in motion there, and it's almost like he's a dead giveaway. He makes up for it with his speed sometimes, but it's almost a giveaway that he knows he's getting the ball, and he kind of shows the defense which way he's going with that.
I wonder if the defenders were able to pick up on that. Pagula once again trotting back to the huddle. Sideline to the middle of the field is about 25 yards. He's running that back and forth and get a good workout. Thomas in motion. Quick pass out to the slot. Skaggs looking for a block and then trips over his own man blocking in front of him. That was DJ Valley.
Looks like it was good enough for a first down.
Yes, it was.
Moving the chains.
And you see Thomas came in motion, tried to pick up a block, actually missed his man, but Skaggs trying to make the move and trips over Valley.
One of the things you have to look at is Washington, instead of going deep downfield, throwing in a double coverage, they've kind of gotten Skaggs out there, isolated him, single coverage, been able to throw the ball so he can get the ball and then make some yards after the catch as opposed to trying to throw deep to him.
Cherry in motion. This time it's Ward straight up the middle. Got some blocks and looking to send off Karcheski. Couldn't do it. Karcheski wraps him up, brings him down after a gain of 6 more, though. And Little Prexy's offense beginning to roll. And remember how the time of possession was completely dominated by Beaver Falls. Well, now what?
Washington has really been able to sustain some long drives. And I think they're really starting to wear down on Beaver Falls. It'll be interesting to see how they hold up on this drive, because this could be a make-or-break drive after they have that 14-7 lead.
Pagula changing the play, line of scrimmage, or at least the direction in which it's going to be run. Cherry moves in motion, gets the ball up the middle, and he's going to pick up 10 more. Big surge. Excellent job by the offensive line, running over that right side. As Gooseby in on the tackle once again.
Cherry following. He's got number 58.
Yeah, Hughes, Moses, and Pula pulling. Again, they get a lot of guys pulling, and they get a lot of guys to the point of attack. So they do the misdirection one way, then all of a sudden you got a fullback hitting the hole, and you've got a lead blocker and pulling guard hitting the hole as well. And makes it awfully, awfully tough to defend. Thomas in motion. Now on the sweep. This is Cherry, nothing doing this time.
Capola's out there leading with the pull block again. You know, you look at him, he's only 5'7", 195 pounds. Terrific athlete, though. Very good wrestler for the Washington Prexy. Excellent baseball player. He's a guy he's playing guard. He runs a 4.7 40. And that tells you the difference in these lines. But Washington has the speed up front. They don't necessarily have the size advantage, but when you can get a guy like that, he might be a fullback in some other program, leading the way. You know, that's tough to stop.
Once again, that wing formation, receivers split out. Skaggs at the bottom of the screen. Valley up top. Quick hitter to Ward up the middle. And Karcheski wasn't buying it. Karcheski and Nestor also in that stack. Those two have really played well defensively for Beaver Falls.
Yeah, they've been the big play guys. Nestor had 13 tackles last week against North Catholic. Karcheski's the team's leading tackler. They seem to be involved in a lot of the plays, especially when it's right up the gut. They're not going to let you get past them.
Well, if they can stiff in here, maybe they can get momentum to swing back their way. Keith Humphreys pacing the sidelines. 3rd and 10. Valley to the top, Skaggs foot to the bottom. Thomas in motion, gets the pitch. It's going to be a reverse. Back to Valley. Valley looking for some room. Has some blockers. Stays down the right sideline and a huge hit. Driven out of bounds by Spencer Waldron. And it is going to be just short of a first down, but I think they got what they wanted, which was certainly close enough, I would guess, for Montecalvo to go for it here.
Boy, Spencer Waldron made him pay for this one, though. Valley gets around the end, but then all of a sudden you come, it's the way they call one of those ooh shots.
So it's 4th and 1. Washington going for it. Crowd roaring once again here at Heinz Field.
And if you're going to see a sneak or if you're going to see Ward get this ball, it's Ward.
And Ward hurdles the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet.
effort.
Ward's actually leading the Prexies in rushing today. That was his 6th carry. He had 5 carries for 54 yards prior to that one. Picks up a couple there.
So Doug Buford, another guy we've mentioned today. A big pop, but he doesn't wrap him. Ward stays on his feet and able to pick up 6 yards, and the Prexies drive remains alive on that big 4th down play. Thomas waggles in motion. Hand off. No, it's kept by Gagula. And he rumbles down inside the 10-yard line, and that's going to be another 1st down for the little Prexies.
You can talk about Justin Gagula's passing ability. You can talk about his leadership. His ball fakes are incredible. The kid really knows how to carry them out. He knows how to fake you out. And then he has a good running ability. And he gets out there and he's kind of slithery. He slides between the tackles. And he just makes the big plays. And like Montecalvo said, this is a kid who wants the ball in his hands in the big plays of the game.
He leapt into Moses' arms after that play, and the little Prexies can begin to feel it now. Thomas in motion, pitch to him. Gagula goes out and lays out a pretty good block. As Thomas picks up about 3. Now, this is where Beaver Falls defense has perhaps been at its best today. A couple times inside the 10-yard line for Washington. Picked off a pass. Made him attempt a field goal. That field goal was off the mark, so Beaver Falls has stiffened down here a couple times today.
Well, Washington had to resort to the pass last time. Beaver Falls has too much speed on the outside to try to go outside on, and they're playing tough up the middle. So when you get to the short yardage situations where inside the 10-yard line, they really, Washington doesn't have too many options because of what Beaver Falls presents.
Jerry in motion. He gets the pitch, looking for some room. Doesn't find any. Burkowski was there. See who else was in on that tackle. Looks like Buford once again, along with Karcheski.
Yeah, Buford has been all over the field, and I think he's taking the momentum of the last game, and it's a different guy that steps up for them every week. Buford, after that interception last one, that was a turning point of the game, very pivotal play, and he's back here today he's all over the field, making all kinds of big tackles.
Seth Jobe in there as well. The 15th play of the little Prexies drive coming up. Gagula back to pass. Lost one, almost intercepted by Karcheski. And now an interesting decision to make. You've missed an extra point. You've missed a field goal.
And you've got to figure after 15 plays, Gagula's got to be a little bit tired. Do you want to go to your quarterback and have him throw it where he's got a chance to put it in the end zone? Or do you want to take the risk of having him kick it when he's been running up and down the field, running sideline to sideline? They're going to go for the kick.
Now it's a 26-yard attempt for Gagula. Snap down. Good hold, and the field goal is up, and it is good. Right down the middle by Gagula. Washington has extended their lead to 17-7. Back with more from Heinz Field after this.
Back in his sophomore year when he was the backup quarterback to Brent Marsteller, Gagula kicked a field goal against Waynesburg. It was the only points the Prexies scored in a 33-3 loss to Waynesburg.
Gagula will kick off a deep one. Got it in by Leo Clements. Clements looking for some room. Spinning. The ball is loose on the ground. And it is recovered by Beaver Falls. Oh, that was narrowly close to pretty much being over as Tyler DeShellis lands on that fumble. Heads up play by the sophomore. Clements had a little shake and bake and spinning. Actually got himself free and then coughed it up on that last hit. So Beaver Falls now with 5:04 remaining. Down 17-7. And I would think that this is the time that they're going to let the Great Dane block or receive and let Justin Shiro is going to be throwing the ball. Shiro out the flat to Gooseby. Gooseby running into Thomas. It may have been that he got a little bit of the face mask.
Yeah, they might give him a 5-yard inadvertent face mask penalty on that one. It doesn't seem like it was intentional, but he did grab him by the helmet, and you saw Gooseby's chin lower on that play.
Now, we mentioned Justin Shiro, and he has led some memorable drives this season. Against Aliquippa in the playoffs, a 14-play, 94-yard drive. Against New Brighton, a 7-play, 80-yard drive late in that game. With 25 seconds left, hit Slappy for the touchdown, then went on a 2-point conversion to Seth Jobe, and that one for the 22-20 win. So Shiro has been in this position before. First down after the penalty and just a little over 10. Shiro on the draw to Williams. Williams looking for some room. The little press, he's not buying it. All right, time for this Pittsburgh Tribune Review game summary. And Williams, 20 rushes for 75 yards, did move into 21st all-time on the WPIAL rushing list. Shiro right now, 9 for 18, 148 yards, has been picked off twice. Washington being held well under their average, although they're winning. Beaver Falls was averaging 32.7 points per game in the playoffs, running into a very good Washington defense. They've been held to 7 in this game. Shiro, receiver split, 1 up top, 2 down to the bottom of your screen. Looking, doesn't have anywhere to go. Being chased, eludes Borkowski, now lost it up the field, got a man there. It is caught, and it's a first down by Dane Williams over midfield. Now, Williams could catch. He had a dozen catches this season, so he is a threat out of the backfield, as he showed there as well.
He really got behind the defense on that one, and Shire avoided. He waits to the last second. You see him drop back here. He has a lot of pressure coming in on them. Nobody's open. Goes left, comes back. Eludes one guy. Here comes another. He just throws that ball up.
The play covering 36 yards, and now in the little comeback, he's dragged down from behind by Dan Moses. Just did get the pass off, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. .339 remaining. And Washington leading 17-7.
Beaver Falls need to get on the scoreboard here. They really don't have a whole lot of time to drive down because they're down by 10. So they need to get down to the score, either a field goal or a touchdown, get the ball right back, and score again. So they don't have time to waste on this drive. They've got to make some quick plays and move that ball downfield very quickly.
Williams in motion, 5 receivers now out, and Shiro going for the home run ball down the sideline, and it is caught by Williams for a touchdown. Dane Williams, a beautiful throw, a tremendous catch by Williams. Is that quick enough for you?
Hey, they answered my prayers. You see Dane Williams go down there two plays in a row. I mean, he's been doing all the tough yards, 20 carries, 75 yards right up until now, and they look deep for him on this one, and it was a fly pattern all the way. Dane Williams, what a beautiful pass by Justin Shire, right over his shoulder, drops it right in there.
Oh, gorgeous throw and an excellent catch.
Skaggs was with him step for step. He put it right on the right side of him.
And the extra point is up and good. It's not over yet. 3:31 remains. Washington leads 17-14. Back with more after this.
They were having some problems with the extra points, with the kicking of field goals. They got Jerry Hall to come out. Let's see what kind of squib he's there, what kind of onside kick he's capable of doing here today. This is really what it's come down to. They don't really have...
I don't know as though they've got 2 timeouts left. 3:31, plenty of time, but they're certainly lined up for the onside kick. They've shown they can march the length of the field quickly. Still, this is...
You see Gooseby on the far left of the sideline. He might be the guy if they can get a bounce.
No, it's taken. And is that Moses rumbling with it? Oh, a battle for the ball. Moses bent backwards. I believe that's Dan Moses, the big guy with the ball. And looks like his back might be in some trouble there also. I'm not sure if it was he or P.J. Hughes. I think it was Moses.
Yeah, I think that was Moses, and it looks like they were fighting for the ball, and it looks like he got bent over backwards, and finally Javon Washington come over and grabbed Gooseby and pulled him off.
How about Moses being on the hands team? I'll tell you something about the big guy, huh? This is the guy that's going to West Virginia. Great effort. He and Gooseby battling for it, and then
you see him get backwards like that, and that's when Javon Washington comes in. Yeah, it tells you how much of respect Gooseby thought of him being on the hands team. Gooseby didn't bother tackling him. He just tried stripping the ball off of him. Moses is a big, strong kid. I don't think you're going to have much luck doing that from him.
No, I think some fans booing when they saw the replay here as Gooseby really bent him over backwards. But again, heat of the battle, you're not really sure if he knew he was down on his knees or not, but that has got to hurt.
Yeah, and the big guys like that, they don't have the flexibility to be able to withstand a shot like that. You know, he might have pulled something out of there, and this is not the kind of guy you want to lose. Win or lose this game, you don't want to lose him for the rest of the playoffs, and he's a very vital part of this team, both on the offensive and defensive lines, and he's a great leader in the locker room for the practice.
6'3", 287, has played an excellent game both offensively and defensively today. I mentioned he's a West Virginia recruit, committed before the season. And Moses up on his feet, and a big roar from the crowd. A lot of Columbia blue and black out in the stands. That's the official color of that blue, Columbia blue.
Well, like you said, they had 2 timeouts to deal with. Now they're going to have to use them on the defensive side of the ball. If they get the ball back, if they can hold Washington, they're not going to have much time to go down and score. They're going to have some quick strikes again. And it's going to be really tough to stop Washington from the 22.
Thomas in motion, hand out to Ward, straight up the middle. Hurtling forward for about 5 yards. Maybe 6, bring up a 2nd and 4. Doug Buford once again making the stop. 3:15 left in this game and counting. Washington leading 17-14. Beaver Falls led 7-6 at the half. Washington has gone on long, sustained drives in the second half. Beaver Falls, that quick strike last time out, that 4-play, 80-yard drive at just 140. Once again, I think changing just the direction of the play from the line of scrimmage. Cherry in motion. Crossbuck, Thomas coming back the other way. Beaver Falls stayed at home there. Big gang tackling effort to bring down Thomas for no gain. Later today, high school football continues with the WPIAL Class AAA High School Football Championship. Coverage begins at 4:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. Stan Savler going to be by to take you through Hopewell against West Allegheny. That game coming up next. Drive, I'm going in the huddle. Using one of their timeouts. 2:26 left in the fourth quarter. And Washington leading Beaver Falls right now 17-14.
You see Dan Moses is back up moving around the sideline.
Okay, all right, okay. We don't want to trap that man in the gap. We want to block him down and trap one man wider, okay? Now, we got to hold the football. Okay, we got to possess the ball, okay? Get out of there now, hurry up. Now, listen, we've got 2 plays to get it in. Secure the ball, let's make the blocks in the perimeter, okay? They've got to make those blocks, all right? Spread roar, 31 flip. Come on, get the first down, protect the ball.
Guy Montecalvo.
Thank you, Bill. This guy Montecalvo inside the Washington huddle, and I think if you had any question about whether they were going to go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here, those questions answered. Montecalvo said you got 2 plays. 2:26 remaining. 1 timeout left for Beaver Falls. They need it stopped. 3rd down and 3. Man in motion, pitch now to Ward. Going on the right side. Has plenty of room. And he takes it down to the 5-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Well, I think we heard him say, seal those blocks on the perimeter. Called for the 31 flip. I think this is what the 31 flip is.
J.R. Ward, boy, just look at him follow those blocks. Gets down inside the 5. And that could spell doom for Beaver Falls. This is the kind of play they really needed to stop that play. And now it's going to come down to the point where even if Washington doesn't score on this, they're going to have a 90-some yard drive to go in probably, less than 2 minutes.
And that's with needing another onside kick. Ward trying it over the right side. Has wrestled down if Washington does score here. They need to score twice, so another player down on the field. And is that Moses again?
No, that looks like
maybe it's P.J. Hughes. Awfully far away to see, and these numbers are very difficult to read. black and Columbia blue. We can't see. As soon as we get that information to you, we will, but clearly riding around there. Looks like he's in some pain. I think it is P.J. Hughes, yeah, the center for the offensive lineman. 5'10", 219, one of a senior-dominated group here for the Washington Little Prexies. Trying to bring Guy Montecalvo his second WPIAL championship, won the first back in 1993. And it looks like they're tending to his left ankle. And P.J. Hughes is unquestionably in a great deal of pain. Looks like they're bringing a quick air cast type of thing out there to put his left leg in. And they were sort of looking at his left ankle. Again, we can't really speculate too much here on what the injury might be.
Now that is Moses down back on the field. I think he's down on one knee at the 16-yard line. I believe that's him back on the field. So they do have Moses back. His injury obviously wasn't too serious.
So P.J. Hughes will come out. Early in the game we saw Jared Molinaro coming out. And I think that's going to be Molinaro who's going to be out there again as well. Bill?
You know, if you take a look at Guy Montecalvo, he is a real gentleman of high school football. He's been coaching for such a long time, graduate of Penn State. He's a track coach that believes in track very much. Now, he has two daughters that are very good, Suzanne and Laura, and he had an offer for almost $25,000 more to go to Trinity High School, and he turned it down. His youngest daughter said, Dad, you've got to stay here with me until I graduate high school, and I think that if you really looked inside his veins, he really bleeds black and blue. So that's the story on Guy Montecalvo, a class gentleman all the way, and he wants this championship desperately.
Another story on Guy Montecalvo. I was talking the other day about Penn State. He was a graduate assistant up there, 24 years old, when he got the call to come down and coach at Washington. He gets the call, and he doesn't, he wanted to coach college football. He wanted to coach at Penn State. A guy behind him, 1 year behind him, the graduate assistant program, was Tom Bradley, now Penn State's defensive coordinator. His roommate for 4 years was Tim Curley, now the athletic director at Penn State. He took this road. With Jerry Sandusky, gave him his blessing, another Washington guy, gave him his blessing and said, take the job, it'll be good for you. He hasn't left.
No, great story. You see P.J. Hughes, unfortunately, being helped over to the sideline now. He is out of the game, starting right guard. Washington with 2:08 now and counting, standing between themselves and the WPIAL championship. Quick set as Valley went in motion. Now Thomas with a wiggle and give to Ward again. Ward barreling forward, and that is a touchdown for J.R. Ward. Rumbling in once again, and Washington has now taken a 23-14 lead. Funny, they went right over where P.J. Hughes had been. Corey Miles was out there, the junior, taking Hughes' place. Some confidence for you. Then right in behind the new guy.
Sometimes they think, they're going to go opposite and go to the strong side. They go right after where you think they'd go, the least last place you think they'd go.
The Brewers kick is up and good. And Washington, a minute and 49 seconds away from winning the WPIAL championship as J.R. Ward runs in for his second touchdown of the game. 24-14 lead now. 1:49 left in the game. The number one ranked team in the PIAA. It's the second week of the season. In the first week of the season, Mount Carmel lost. And when the new rankings came out, Washington was number one. They've remained number one throughout the entire season. They came in obviously seeded one in Double-A. Beaver Falls came in seeded second. Now, Keith Humphreys has done a remarkable job in his first season. It looks right now like they're going to come up short, but this is a team that has not been to the championship since 1984. They had not been deep into the playoffs for a decade. And he comes in his first season, leads into this championship game, takes a team averaging 44 points a game, has held them right now to 24 points, which would be their lowest output of the season. So certainly a lot to be proud about for Keith Humphreys and for the Beaver Falls Tigers.
And Humphreys warns, he says, we have 22 seniors and we're losing a lot of great talent, but we've got some young kids coming up. He says, we're not going to fall, we're not going to drop off the face of the earth tomorrow. That was the one difference in the Beaver Falls New Brighton game. New Brighton was leading 20 to, I think it was 20 to 16, and
20 to 14 in that game,
20 to 14, Weston Lambert fumbled into the end zone, and Beaver Falls went back down and scored. J.R. Ward, the difference in this game, goes in and scores a touchdown, puts it ahead, and it doesn't look like Beaver Falls has much of a chance to come back, but you never know.
Gagula's 21st touchback this year. Yeah, Shiro has led some impressive drives in that game against New Brighton. He not only led them to the game-tying touchdown at the game during the regular season, but then also through the two-point conversion. He found Slappy an 11-yard touchdown pass with just 25 seconds left in that game, then the two-point conversion to Seth Job. So Shiro can do it, and we saw him strike quickly with Dane Williams, but again, I question a little bit that decision for the onside kick there.
Yeah, in hindsight, it looks like a bad move, especially with the return Washington got.
Shiro under big pressure, rolling out. He is dragged down. Borkowski was there. Moses was there. And Shiro is down. Getting up slowly. Sacked way back inside the 5-yard line. We mentioned Washington, a school record for sacks.
You watch Travis Thomas comes right up the middle there. He's going to be one of the last guys to get involved in that play. But like you said, Moses and Borkowski really brought a lot of pressure. They stunted so many guys on that play that the other guys just powered their way through.
Well, when you know it's coming, it makes it a little bit easier to defend. And they know it's coming now. Shiro Williams, the lone setback. Back to pass. Looking downfield. Has time this time. Some late pressure. Throws it, and it is intercepted. Picked off, and that is pretty much going to do it. As Skaggs came up with the interception, we saw him with a touchdown catch earlier. Skaggs picks one off here.
Washington dropped back in coverage this time. Shire has a lot of time, gets a little bit of pressure, throws it, but it's a little bit short. It looks like, I can't tell if it was intended for Gooseby or Williams, because it was for Williams was over his head, for Gooseby a little too short.
Well, neither team has been in a situation where you have to run a lot of 5 wide receiver sets, which is exactly the situation Beaver Falls found themselves in here, trailing. And a T backfield, I would think this is just going to mean kneel on it. It is. 50 seconds now left in the game. Fans with a little Prexies on their feet and cheering. And you know what? Some Beaver Falls fans on their feet and cheering as well, applauding their team's gutsy effort here today and also their fine performance throughout the season.
Well, Washington had its share of disappointment over at Three Rivers Stadium. 5 times in the championship game, only won once. Coming in here at Heinz Field, they're christening Heinz Field with a little bit of Prexy black and Columbia blue, as you say, and I'm sure they're really enjoying this victory.
Gagula kneels down. The teams will begin the handshakes and the congratulations. The little Prexy players came over and asked for some more cheering out of their fans. I don't know how they could have gotten much more. They're all cheering now, arms up in the air. Team running out onto the field. Guy Monacabo's first title since 1993. You mentioned his disappointments. He's had an awful lot of good teams. And I think now with this championship, you need to compare what he has done over the last 10 or 12 years to that great run they had way back. We mentioned from 1917 to 1926 when they won 4 titles. Guy Monacabo's now won his 2nd. And he's been to the finals now 6 times.
Well, I think Washington had a tougher battle on its hands than it probably had anticipated, but the Prexies have been pointing all season to Hershey. Heinz Field was merely a roadblock on the way to Hershey, and now that they've overcome that roadblock, it would not surprise me at all to see them go up to Hershey and contend for that state title and maybe bring back the first state championship in school history.
We saw Keith Humphreys shaking some hands as well. They did get to the finals once. Washington did not win the PIAA championship. They're going to play Bishop McCourt. Bishop McCourt beat Sharon 13-10 in overtime. That's going to be their next matchup. Keith Humphreys, congratulating the little Freshman players. You've got to say a lot about the job Keith Humphreys did as well. Dane Williams, his tremendous career comes to an end. A fine baseball player, led the team in steals last year. He'll be back to the Tigers baseball team, but he's played his final high school football game. And Bill Fontana now standing by on the field. Bill?
Gentlemen, Guy, you can smile now. I know you've chided me all week long. Congratulations. It was a marvelous football
game. It was a great football game for the fans to see, Bill. You know, we didn't play especially well in the first half, as I had talked to you about when we came out of the locker room. And, you know, we had some guys that just didn't play up to their ability, and we just didn't finish some drives. And, boy, I tell you, Justin just led us down the field, you know, 2 or 3 times in the second half. He showed the kind of poise he had. And he's the kind of guy that wants the ball when the game's on the line. After missing an extra point of field goal, he kicks the field goal that kind of put the game out of touch. And then, you know, Danny Moses makes the big catch on the, you know, the hands team. And we work on that each and every week, Bill. And fortunately, it paid off this week, and then we were able to punch it in.
Moses really showed his strength, too, on that.
Oh, he really did. And, you know, at the end of the game in the second half, he wanted us to run the football his way, and he was just begging for it. Made a great block on the trap that sprung J.R. Ward in the first half.
Guy, looking at your football team, speaking with you earlier in the week, you know, you were very much concerned about this Beaver Falls team, said it was the best team that you would face in the state, but you also have some unfinished business, too. And I think that it aided you that you lost to Cannabin and you lost to Shady Side Academy, and this has got to be most gratifying for you.
It really is, Bill. Don't think that when it was 7-6, you know, at halftime, that those thoughts didn't cross my mind again, because we had played really well, but we just didn't finish the drives. But this is a group of seniors, 21 of them, that have tremendous character. And as I said, I wish you could have seen the attitude in the locker room at halftime. There wasn't one guy that was doubting what we were going to do.
You said you're not done, too. You want a state championship for Washington County.
Yes, we do. Washington County hasn't had one, Bill, and that's been our goal since last January. We stated that was our goal. We kind of went out on a limb, and, you know, when you take a risk, sometimes you leave yourself open to failure, but there's no advancement in life without risk, and these guys have done that, and I'll tell you what, I'm very, very proud of them.
Rob, we're going to go upstairs, but I got to give you a great line, and Guy, you have to give him this line that you use, too. You like to win with class and dignity. Tell me what you said earlier in the week.
Well, Bill, you were talking about some of the situations where at times we've had to discipline some kids, and we're in this business really to help young men grow and as persons. And, you know, Coach Paterno used to tell us a long time ago something that really stuck with me, and we try to live by this adage. A victory without honor is like a meal without seasoning. It fills you up, but it don't taste good. This tastes awfully good today.
That's Guy Montecalvo. Let's go upstairs and join Rob and also Kevin.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Words certainly to live by, as one of the Washington's leading players today was declared.
Rob, we're going to go upstairs, but I got to give you a great line. And, Guy, you have to give him this line that you use, too. You like to win with class and dignity. Tell me what you said earlier in the week.
Well, Bill, you were talking about some of the situations where at times we've had to discipline some kids, and we're in this business really to help young men grow and as persons. And, you know, Coach Paterno used to tell us a long time ago something that really stuck with me, and we try to live by this adage. A victory without honor is like a meal without seasoning. It fills you up, but it don't taste good. This tastes awfully good today.
That's Guy Montecalvo. Let's go upstairs and join Rob and also Kevin.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Words certainly to live by, as one of the Washington's leading players today was declared ineligible for the game, and so certainly Coach Montecalvo putting his money where his mouth is, so to speak, as Washington goes on to win this WPIAL championship 24-14 over Beaver Falls today. Back with more post-game coverage right after this.
It's the gift of a grandchild's laugh. It's the gift of a sister's advice. It's the holiday gift they'll really love. Time together. Thanks to Verizon Wireless.
Now get 3,500 total monthly minutes for just $35 monthly access on select digital plans, so you can call anyone, anywhere in the U.S. and talk all you want with nationwide long distance included, and get a free Motorola phone with activation after mail-in rebate.
So give your loved ones the gift they really want. You. Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Got some spare change? Then get to McDonald's, because cheeseburgers are only 49 cents every Monday and Thursday. And every Sunday, 20-piece chicken McNuggets are just $2.99. 49-cent cheeseburgers and $2.99 20-piece chicken McNuggets. Only at McDonald's.
Hi, I'm Bill Oliveria of Oliveria Chevrolet Buick. Out here at McDonald's, we do business a little different. We don't use a lot of hype to sell cars. We sell cars by exceeding our customers' expectations, and we have for over 30 years. Come on in and look around. We have a full line of new Chevrolets and Buicks to choose from, and we're offering the lowest finance and lease rates available.
Oliverio Chevrolet Buick, Laurel Hill Road in the hills of McDonald, minutes from Bridgeville and Scott Township.
There's no hype in the hills, just an honest car buying experience.
If you've been paying attention at all, you know that Fox Sports Net covers the Steelers like no other TV station in town. And if you're like me, I mean, if you just cannot get enough Steelers coverage, check out Fox Sports Net.
NFL this morning.
The guy was a psychopath.
When that guy gets rolling, nothing stops him. He doesn't stop himself. NFL this morning on Fox Sports Net.
I'm funny. Welcome back to Heinz Field, where the Washington Little Prexies have defeated the Beaver Falls Tigers 24-14 to claim the AA championship. There is lineman P.J. Hughes. He is going off the field on a stretcher, hurt late in the fourth quarter, looked like an ankle injury. Bill Fontana is making his way down to that scene right now as we speak. The Washington Little Prexies doing some celebrating. I'm Rob King, along with Kevin Gorman. And Kevin, first of all, your impressions of the game. We expected a much more high-scoring game. Certainly each team moved the ball well in the first half. Some turnovers probably prevented this game from getting into the 30s, certainly for Washington, and at least into the 20s for Beaver Falls.
I thought you saw some tough defenses from both teams. I think, like you mentioned, there was some risk taken today. One of the things Washington did, they missed a field goal, they missed an extra point. They went back to Justin Gurgula. They took the chance, they made a field goal that put the game a little bit out of reach for Beaver Falls. They also made a big play on a risk taken by Beaver Falls where they tried an onside kick. Dan Moses recovers. It sets up J.R. Ward's game-clinching touchdown. Those were some big plays that Washington made. Beaver Falls wasn't able to come back and respond with those similar plays.
And we're going to talk a little bit about Washington, and we're going to certainly hear from them in the post-game locker room coming up in just a couple minutes with Bill Fontana. But to look at Beaver Falls, we mentioned briefly some great careers. Justin Shiro, one of the best quarterbacks in school history, certainly, and Dane Williams as well, a lot to be proud of. Let's go now down to the post-game locker room where Bill Fontana, I guess Bill Fontana's not ready. So Dane Williams, as we mentioned, moving to 21st all-time on the WPIAL rushing list. Could have moved up a little further if they'd advanced a little more, but a great, great career for him.
And it was. And, you know, he had 20 carries for 75 yards. I think that's what he finished with. But he makes a couple big receptions, keeps them in the game. He's able to do it not always just his running ability, but his receiving ability. And also he had some great blocking today to give Justin Shiro some time to throw the ball.
Okay, you saw him jumping around. Now we go to the man with the nice-looking hat, Bill Fontana, standing by live in the dressing room. Bill?
Thanks a lot, Rob. This one is Danny Moses right here, and on the specialty teams, you came up with a big, big recovery. I didn't know you had hands like that.
I didn't know I had either. I mean, it's all right there. Yeah, I got the ball in my hands. I just took off to the field. I saw nothing but daylight, but then I got tracked down. Sorry.
You know, looking at your football team, you averaged over 43 points a game per year. Guy Montecalvo had told me earlier in the week that this Beaver Falls team was the best team that you had faced to this day. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, they're definitely the best team we faced so far. But next week we're going to have a harder test, and luckily our defense prevailed today, and we stuck it out and only held up 7 points.
Dan, what was the key coming in? Earlier in the week, I was told that you guys defensively wanted to put a perimeter around Dane Williams. Did you do that?
Yeah, we definitely did that today. We held him with, I don't know how many yards, but we definitely held him pretty good. And played very well, and the linebackers played exceptionally well, too.
Let's see if we can get Justin Gurgula in here. Justin on my right, brother. You know what? I'm tired of looking at you. You're incredible. This gentleman right here is the quarterback for Wash High, and you know, they've had some good ones over the year, Marticek, and I believe your touchdown percentage in the last 2 years has been just incredible. I think you've thrown for 38. Your thoughts about today's football game? You kick off, you do everything.
My offensive line the last 2 years has just been unbelievable, and I can't expound upon enough about how much I love these guys, my offensive line, and like I always say, we're just a family, and I think that's why we made it through this game. We were down at the beginning, but we stuck with it, and we came out second half a little more relaxed, and we did what we had to do.
Danny Moses, I heard him in the locker room say that this is just one of our steps. I think that the Washington County football teams, everything is on you. They've never won a state championship, so this is just one of the steps on your ladder to success, I believe.
Exactly. It's definitely a stepping stone for our team. And right now, I'm just proud, and my team's proud. Just bring this home back to Washington, and hopefully we can continue through the year and go to Hershey and win the state championship.
Great game. Let's see if we can get in Brian Skaggs. Where's Brian at? Look at this little guy right here, huh? You know, Brian Skaggs, I don't know how fast you are, but you're pretty precise on the routes. And explain what happened in the first. That was a big, big touchdown you had.
Yeah, well, in the huddle, we just called, if they're going to roll up on us, we just check off. That's what happened. We checked into out and up and just connected on that.
Got hands like glue, my man. Small things, dynamite comes in small packages. Talk about your team, your offensive line, your specialty teams before we go upstairs. How the kids feel right now?
It was great. Finally get the ring. It's unbelievable.
Now, you have one more step to go. Well, two, actually, right?
Yeah. We're going to get to Hershey, hopefully. We're going to win there.
Number one team in the state, probably one of the best receivers in AA. That's Justin Skaggs. Let's go back upstairs to Rob King.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Obviously, a wild scene down there for the Washington Little Prexies. They've been close the last couple of years. They've gotten to this point, and now finally over the edge as well. We'll be back with much more post-game coverage coming up from Heinz Field right after this.
Discover the sparkle of fine jewelry and the brilliance of savings at National Jewelry Outlet. We carry a beautiful selection of well-made jewelry, and our service and quality is guaranteed. At National Jewelry Outlet, our prices are the lowest around. Half off all gold chains and bracelets, 75% off all sterling silver, and 50% off diamond rings and earrings, with diamond selection from 10 points to 20 carats. For diamonds, fine jewelry, and jewelry repair, visit National Jewelry Outlet, Olympia Shopping Center, Walnut, and Route 48 in McHughesport.
Hey, Pittsburgh, shopping for that one-of-a-kind pre-owned car? A4, Pittsburgh's Ford Giant, is going to make your day. We have the area's biggest selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans. Every make and model imaginable. Trust us to save you money on the one you want. Whether you buy or lease, there is a better way at Day Ford. Pittsburgh's Ford Giant on William Penn Highway across from the Monroeville Mall.
Gonna make your day. Running here, running there. I got no time to shop, I got no time to spare. Gotta pick up some milk, send it back and get some gas. Gonna grab a bite to eat, gotta do it fast. Well, there's only one place to go. Get it on at Kogo. Oh, for you at Kogo. Get what you want, when you want, where you want it. Kogo.
I'm Sonic Man. And I'm out to prove what a smooth, clean shave you'll get with the Panasonic Sonic Shaving Max. Dry, or wet, or wet, or wet. The world's fastest shaver, 13,000 RPM.
And this is the one, baby!
Smooth. And easy to rinse.
Welcome back to Washington Little Prexies, celebrating downstairs here at Heinz Field as they come up with the AA championship and a hard-fought win over Beaver Falls 24-14. But Kevin, Beaver Falls led this game at halftime.
And that's something that was a little bit uneasy for Guy Montecelvo. He'd lost 2 championship games by 1 point. He even said so afterward. You know, we didn't like being down 7-6 going into halftime, and you know, we didn't feel real comfortable with it. But the kids never really got worried about it, and they came right back out in the third quarter and played well.
Let's take a look at the highlights, beginning with the first half highlights. And Washington drove deep, but then the Tigers defense coming up big.
You see Patrick Nestor intercepted right at the 1-yard line. Great return, sets them up. Justin Shiro comes back, and Darnell Barnes intercepts him.
That had been a long drive for them.
Shiro tries to make something happen with his feet. He scrambles, but he gets hit, fumbles, and all of a sudden you see Dale Calloway come flying in for the fumble recovery. But Beaver Falls responds. Shiro with a little dump pass to Tyrone Gooseby. Scooby makes a couple guys miss, breaks a few tackles. You're going to see him push Dane Williams out of the way right here. Bumps his own guy out of the way, takes off for the end zone, 44-yard touchdown for the Beaver Falls Tigers, and that gives them, I believe, a 7-0 lead at that point. But Washington comes back. J.R. Ward goes 42 yards, rumbling upfield, makes it 7-6. Washington looks like it's right back in the game. Justin Gergola lines up for the extra point and bumped right off of the goalpost.
And he'd also missed a field goal in the first half, so Washington finds themselves behind 7-6.
You see Gergola, he hangs onto the ball with the hitch and go, finds Brian Skaggs on a beautiful pass play, gives Washington the lead. And then the two-point conversion pass, I think that was to Travis Thomas. I think that makes it 14-7, and then 17-7 after Gergola's field goal here.
And that's a big kick by Gergola. He'd missed a field goal earlier and an extra point, but then a couple of Shiro to Dane Williams completions, and this the long one.
You see this beautiful pass over Dane Williams' right shoulder. You missed the
onside kick.
Right. Dan Moses returns it, sets up J.R. Ward for the touchdown.
And Guy Montecalvo congratulating Keith Humphreys as his team wins the AA championship. And you look at the total yards. And who would have thought this? Beaver Falls actually outgaining Washington 460 to 348, the 3 turnovers. Definitely a key in the game. Time of possession, very even.
Yeah, but Beaver Falls had the time of possession advantage in the first half.
Right.
Washington had a great advantage in the second half, was able to sustain some long drives, put the points on the board, and score and get ahead and really hold on to that lead with a good defense.
So the great careers of Dane Williams and Justin Shiro and others for Beaver Falls ending today, but a great run for them. For Washington, it's time to move on throughout the playoffs with the WPIAL championship already in their back pocket. Stick around. We'll be back with more after this.